morning, Saturday morning, and welcome back to another Commercial Trucking Chronicle video. You know me, I'm your host, Swizzy. Today I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things. Mainly, I want to talk to you about the files that's supposed to be released, United States, the UAP, what they call it, a masculus or anomalous, the anomalous phenomena, the unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, you know, the anomalous, anonymous. Is that what you, anomalous, right? Unidentified anomalies, anomalous phenomena, right? National archives that they're releasing, that President Donald Trump has instructed the release of the files for unidentified flying objects and which UFOs and the UAPs, the National Archives, moving images and sound. So I went on the line and I tried to get it out. I hope this video reaches you guys and that there's no, shadow banning on it or whatever the case may be. As we know, this information, is coming from reliable federal sources and stuff that, these websites and things you go on to and you can look this stuff up for yourself. This is the National Archives channel actually that I'm on right here. So, National Archives and as you can see, records related to unidentified flying objects and stuff like that, so forth and so on. And I've always been a kind of type person that despite what people think, man, or what they believe, I believe that there are other sources of life out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was one of those kids from a very early age, right? That at night, I would look out my window and just be looking up at the sky. Like, I've done that from, I would say, my junior high school years, right up through in my 20s, early 20s. You know what I'm saying? I would just gaze up at the sky at night. You know what I'm saying? And look for little things and stuff. Like, I used to listen to Coast to Coast AM radio, like AM radio station. And they would talk about a lot of this stuff. They would have that, I used to listen to that, yo, all night long. I would listen to that radio station. They were talking about all kind of sightings, then, after that, then there would be like the Sean Hannity show that would come on. And, a lot of this stuff. And conspiracy theorists. Like, I was one of those guys. I always have been. But now, since the recent announcement from, the president to have a lot of these files and things released, I'm doing research and stuff over here, trying to dig up some stuff, and it's my suspicions pretty much have always been that, yes, they're hiding stuff, right? Liz, what's going on? She says she's deaf. Okay, how you doing, Liz? Hit the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel, okay? So I always was the type that would, that's probably why I got in early with, some of the things that I invested in, because they kind of got my attention because of the science behind it, the development and stuff. And, I always knew big tech was going to always be, I knew that was the future. I used to watch all kind of science fiction stuff when I was growing up, the computers, the robots and so forth. And here we are today, where our life has, so much hands-on with that type of technology that at one point we would sit and watch on television as if it was just some entertainment or something that, everybody laughed at during the robot dance and the man and all of that. But, look where we are, right? And from a mindset where, I always just pay attention to, once I actually did get it, I was working, busting my, man, look, I gotta find another way out. Something's got to give. There's got to be another way. All these people making all these big money and everybody living good. You come to find out, they got the computers at their house, they got the fax machines, they got the laptops, and they got all this software, and they got all this other stuff. So, those are the people who were advancing and I mean, climbing the tax bracket and stuff, or so to speak. Like those are people that were, into software, coming up. If they had a computer in their house, if they had a laptop or something like that, sure they had probably new cars every year, right? So I was always the type I was into the it always caught my attention, a lot of this stuff, right? Christine, how you doing? Eden Engine, what's up? Mackie Creighton, what's going on? Appreciate you guys for joining me, man. And like I said, I'm just talking right now. I'm doing some research, trying to dig up some of this stuff about these files that they releasing, about a lot of the what is it? The UAP and the UF, unidentified stuff that right now, you know what I'm saying? Where everybody thinks, well, it's just this distraction. They're just, putting that out there because, to move us further and further into a time where people's just, where you're going to be questioning everything, or, oh, that's fake. This is fake. We're going to go back and forth about what's real and what's fake now because, a lot of people don't really, they don't know, man. They're just like, well, it's entertainment, a lot of this. This is actually for entertainment purposes, okay, for you guys, right? But I'm bringing you some information as well as, this being for entertainment purposes. Yes, appreciate the like button. You guys hit that like button for me. Yon Chip, how you doing, Yo, how you doing? Okay. How you doing, Mackie? I appreciate you guys joining and subscribing to the channel, man. It's good to see that you're doing good. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, man. Yunchi. That's not your name, but that's your handle, right? Well, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I appreciate you guys. Okay. So this website, the National Archives website, is where you can go to if you're like me and you want to do some research and deep dive about some of these files that they're releasing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I thank you for that. I thank you very much for subscribing. And hitting the like button, you guys. Believe me. Okay. National Defense Authorization Act. I don't, man. I wanna play something for you because these guys got all kind of, and a lot of this stuff is old. A lot of this stuff is of course it's old. These are old files. They got all these files that they're now releasing. Talking about sightings and talking about, yeah. Make sure you guys take a lunch break too. Don't work all day. Don't be a robot. Don't be a robot. Like Chuck Knight. He's Nightbot. But like I said, I used to listen to Coast AM all night long, man. I used to listen to that stuff, and they would talk. They have people would come on and talk about sightings and things that they heard, Roswell, and like, oh, that's the big topic now. You jumping on the regular, the trend. that stuff, and has always been something that I just could all night listen to. All night, I would listen to the people call up on the radio station and talk about what they saw, and it just, this is the thing, okay? This is the thing. We can watch TV and have the television lie to us and show us all kinds of things, you know what I'm saying? That with the human eye, you can't make it out, whether it's real or it's not. You know what I'm saying? You watching it. Mackie Creighton. Yes, I do have kids. Yes, I do. I have 4 kids. I have 2 boys, 2 girls. My oldest son is 29. My oldest daughter, she's 25. Yeah. And my baby girl is 22. And my baby boy, Cameron, getting ready to turn 21. He's 20 right now. So, and if you know, raising kids, it's been tough. It's been tough, you know. But I'm proud of them. They're all doing well, working. They're all working. They're all doing pretty good. Mackie, what's up? What's going on? Ghosts? Oh, you're talking about the ghosts? UFOs? Yes. There's so much that. Oh, Mackie. Real name is Leah. Okay. All right, Leah. So, anyway, let me go ahead with this now. I appreciate you guys for joining me, but I gotta stay on topic here. Hopefully, some of this stuff is entertaining to you, so that find it interesting. But like I was saying, man, a lot of people, even today, people will get on here, they watch TV, they watch these videos and everything. I tell people like this, look, because I toned it down a little bit, but I gotta continue to push the channel because I want to stay actively involved with this channel and the members. I don't want to ghost nobody. Like he said, go ghost. I don't want to do that. But sometimes I have to turn, I need to get up here and reach out to you guys and bring some information to you, bring some entertainment, education. Some of you may not know about some of this stuff. Some of the National Archives publications. And I used to love to go to museums and stuff when I was young. I didn't live far from one, and I used to just go to the museum sometime, walk over there and spend the afternoon at the museum and stuff. They had the planetary thing going on. As a matter of fact, the alignment of the planets, the alignment of these planets are happening today. All these planets for a brief time, there's going to be an alignment of all these planets, and there's a lot of cosmic energy. Hey, what's up? IAYDN. What does that say? And Alden. Eldon LaRock. Did I say that right? What's going on, Eldon LaRock? Appreciate you guys for hitting that like button, man. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And let me know where you're from, man, because, some of these names are pretty hard to pronounce for me, man. Okay, moving sounds and images. That's what I wanted, because I went to this archive thing, and since they released the files, I want to see some of the moving sounds and some of the images that they release. Let's check it out. Let me see. Let me get I'm gonna pull something up. They got photographs, moving sounds and images, text, stuff from the Presidential Library. moving sounds and images because we're talking about UFOs here. We're talking about, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So, all right, here they come scrolling down. It's a whole lot to see. I'll show you. It's a whole lot to see here. So I'll just click on one of these to see what they're talking about. Executive summary of the greatest secret of the 21st century, you know, part 2. All right, we click on that. What they talking about? Oh, it's not yet available, see? So an executive summary of the greatest secrets of the 20th century, part 1 and part 2 is not available. All right. So when are they going to be available? Because he's been telling people, release the files, release the files. The same thing with Epstein, man. They just going to hold back. They're going to give you little pieces of business. But I'm going to try and find something for you today, man. I'm trying to tell you. Hold on, let me make my background. Let me give y'all look. Let me show you that. Appreciate you guys. What up? Where's it at? Oh, it's not here. Oh, man. I can't even do it. I can't do it. I'm trying to put the background screen thing. They must don't want me to do it. So we're not gonna do it. We're gonna forget that. We're gonna try. Let me fix this for y'all. Hold up. I don't know what I done did, how I can get out of this. Crap. This sucks. You know, a lot of stuff I'm still learning to use with YouTube, these little features that they have up here. And I want to take that off, that green screen in the background. How do I remove that? I don't know if I can now. You guys are all right with the green screen in the back. Maybe an alien will pop up back there or something. Somebody hit the like button. Okay, appreciate it. Motivate 2010. How you doing? Happy Friday. I'm sorry. Happy Saturday. You know, I be losing track of the days. I don't know whether it was a little, you know, I had a slight concussion earlier this year, and I've been to the doctors this week a couple times, and I've been telling them like, yo, I be having some weird, not even, you know, I just, sometimes I'm not, you know, I'm not myself, or I'm not all there, you know, and then I got these, you know, all these daggone things there, so they're giving me everything, but, you know, thank the good Lord, you know what I'm saying? He's holding me down. Yes, it's Saturday, all day. So, bam. So a lot of these files they're even though they've said release the files, right? They're not exclusive summary for the greatest secrets of 21st century. That's not available. Walter Cronkite and Gordon Cooper on UFOs. That's not available. I would have loved to get Walter Cronkite up here. You guys know who he is. These are all, what's going on with my camera? Why it ain't? See? Hold on. I gotta try and fix this because I don't know how to fix this. I need to take that off. Jeez. I'm trying to turn my camera back around. This don't make no sense. This don't make no sense. Crap. I mean, I can show you this one. All right. See you with the Cronkite and Gordon Cooper on UFOs. So this is the National Archives of, that's where all the files are if you want to go look for them. The ones, the files that they said that they, you know, released the files. So, but my other thing like this, and I don't like the background. I need to put something back there. Otherwise, I don't like it. And it might be annoying to you guys too, and I don't want you guys to get annoyed by the screen in the background. You know, and I don't want to get copyright things either on me over here. This is not good. Okay, oh, there we go. Ah, found it. I'm learning. Got it. That's what's up, right? You know? I used to watch him nightly. Or Walter Cronkite. Yep. And that's what I said. I used to listen to Coast to Coast AM on radio stations at night, right? And you know, you could call. It was a phone line. Yeah, I found it. Yep. Oh, they timed you out. Oh, gotta watch that bot. I don't know. Maybe the exclamation points and stuff like that. He kind of gets 5 second time. It's not good. I'll have to let him know not to do that. Yep. Yeah, I told him to swing by the house. He driving me crazy. Can you hear me now? How's it sound? Do I like the Seahawks? I'm a Jets fan. The Seahawks. Unfortunately, they won the Super Bowl. Good for them. But I'm not a Seahawks fan, no. All y'all Seahawks fan, shout out to you. Congratulations. All right. So, I used to watch that. I mean, I'm sorry, watch. I used to listen. I listened to a lot of talk show radio. You know what I'm saying? I used to, just growing up, I used to listen to the stuff. I was young. I don't know how, because I would find an AM radio station in the middle of the night. If it wasn't jazz or something I listened to, or some kind of music like that, because you couldn't really get a lot of radio stations. You know what I'm saying? Oh. I don't know what that dog is doing. So, and the thing about it is, right? Call it conspiracy theorists or whatever, but a lot of the stuff that they talked about, you just see that stuff all over the news and the television now. I think that's my son. Hold on, he's at the door, and he's a hot mess. Hold on, I'm coming, man. What do you think about UFOs?
Yo, they about to. So speaking of UFOs right now, yo, they might have a stock that's about to go through the roof, like the.
I'm not talking about stocks in UFOs.
Listen, man. Listen.
All right, let's
the
listen.
The UFO thing. This is what's going on with the UFOs. So they supposedly, Trump is supposed to be releasing some official documents.
This is the National Archive. This is the website. I'm trying to pull the documents now, but a lot of them are not available. But what is
so
it?
Look, this is the thing now. So. Same thing with how everybody wants all these files from that case with Epstein, right? Unless this whole situation is like, yo, release the next file. Like, you see how you can't get access to whatever you're looking for?
There's a lot of them. They got files going back to the 70s.
Well, I'm saying whatever you're trying to get access to right now that you can't find, or whatever it is.
It'll come out tomorrow?
No, if it don't come out, only the people that's really invested in this have the voice to be like, release this stuff, make it a big thing, because I'm telling you, there's already a stock right now that I was looking on buying a call on, because
he big time trader
cheap.
Right here.
It's real cheap, and it's UFO. That's what it says. It says UFO. Go look it up on TradingView, UFO. But then what you do is you go to Robinhood, and you type UFO and Robinhood, and then Robinhood is gonna give you the description of what that stock actually is, and
One
that's
second,
where
wait.
you figure it out.
Before you start giving all this financial information.
That's not financial
I know what I'm saying, but you are giving that this is information about financial investments. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. You can say all that stuff you want to say.
I was just explaining UFOs.
I know, but you're on the broadcast, so I need to put a disclaimer out there. Then you can finish whatever it is you're talking about.
Yeah,
this is not financial advice. Anything that he says or that you hear, don't listen to nobody.
Yeah, you can't believe nothing I say.
Yeah, somebody that take it serious and they take everything that they work hard for, go put it on a UFO, and then what? What happens then, man?
If you don't know what you're doing, then you're gonna lose all your money. But if you know what you're doing, you set a long expiration contract so that way you get enough
what
time
type of an
so
expiration
you don't have to worry about you losing your money in 5 days or 10 days or 30 days. You'll probably have to worry about losing your money in 90 days before you sit there and be like, oh, I'm gonna lose it overnight. Oh, I'm gonna lose it. So you got 90 days to sit there and make your return or your yield on your investment.
On a UFO investment?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you something. UFOs been around for thousands of years. Could you put in a contract and an expiration date for like 3,000? You're not gonna be around to collect the money. But but you'll keep on, as long as it keeps going up, you keep making money?
Yeah, but I'm saying if it boom real quick because of what's going on right now, if this stock boom overnight and then it crashed, yo, I'm telling you.
Well, there's been a lot of UFOs that has crashed. And there's proof of it on the National Archives. You can go look it up. So the market's going to crash, and the UFO you got your money on crashes, you hit. That's why I say this is not financial advice. Man, my son. Do not buy, sell, trade, or do anything, and especially if it got anything to do with unidentified anything. But he just said something about call option. You mean to tell me you got call option out on a UFO?
I'm thinking about doing it, man. I know I told money, man. Anything that's
he does make money with those calls.
Anything that's laughable, I make money off of. So if you laugh at it, I hope you make money with it too.
No, but he does make money off of it. Yeah, he does make money off of it.
If we do this deal we trying to do over here, man, you know what might happen, man?
All right, can I just finish this? The audience wants to know what's going on. Because we were talking about Walter Cronkite. If you don't know who he is because you're too young. That was way before your time. All right? Talk show. And these people will talk about the news, you know, what's going on in the time, the Daily or New York Times. I mean, so these people... These people are... There's a lot of people that are definitely have made national headlines because of, you know, some of the discussions that they've had. But a lot of the stuff was deemed, you know, like, I'm not gonna say classified, but a lot of the stuff they kind of was, they say it's all conspiracy. You know, there's different intelligence agencies or different intelligence community that have been interviewed by a lot of these spokespersons, and let me tell you, now a lot of this stuff, these names and these people are coming back to the surface, and a lot of the things that they're talking about, you know, that they have talked about, we're revisiting these conversations now because, you know, there's so much hidden involvement with a lot of prominent people. You got all your mail and stuff?
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab I'm just waiting for my tags and my title to come in the mail. That's it. Okay. I came over here. I ain't about to be over here too much.
Oh, I appreciate you looking out for me, though.
Nah, I don't get none of this, man. Listen.
See you later. I'm doing. I got my people over here. I got to deal with this. Okay, related. Okay, here's some pictures here. Hopefully, I can. Partially available online. Partially available online. So, what can we guess? Let's pull this. Click on that. This is, see, a lot of this stuff is not. Oh, okay, wait a minute, hold up. Motion picture film related to Agent Orange. You guys know what Agent Orange is? Agent Orange is 1972. I believe that. Let's click on this. Not yet available. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Do me a favor, man. Hit the like button for me trying for you over here. Anyway, I'm trying to get some info because this is just not just for my own personal curiosity, because I'm curious about this stuff. It's also for you guys too. You know, but you could do the research on your own. Maybe you'll find some stuff up here. I had some, I clicked off things and I clicked on things. Okay, maybe, okay, here we go. We got something. Okay, here we go. Alderman interviews Dr. Page. I don't know if you guys know who Dr. Page is. Alderman interview with Dr. Page on unidentified flying objects. So we're going to play this. It's only 13 minutes long.
Dr. Page, do you believe in unidentified flying objects?
There's no question that people see in the sky objects that they cannot identify. So the answer is yes. Unidentified flying objects are reported in large numbers by responsible.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't believe in them, but I'm one of those people that I don't feel like we're alone in this universe. I just don't. I don't know how to classify a lot of this stuff, you know, to where it's everybody has their own different definition of things, you know, and I've heard people say that those are, you know, not aliens, but they're, you know, demonic spirits and stuff like that, you know, that are in the firmament. And so we don't need to be going, no, we here, that's where we need to be at. But what's in this, what is in the realm of this planet, we know it's, you know, it's biblical. It's some, you know, get into that, you know, you know, we do have forces that are here, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, the wind is a force, you know what I'm saying? Gravity is another one, you know, so I'm, you know, I will go down the rabbit hole and start, you know, like giving my explanation or for a lot of things, you know, because, you know, when I look at, you know, what's outside my window, I have to make you know, I'm taking it in through my eyes and seeing what I'm seeing, you know, my mind and my brain have to, you know, comprehend it. So it's some things that we see that we can't comprehend, you know, and they've been cited. So that's why I don't believe that we're alone in this universe at all, because I know that there are good forces, bad forces, you know, there's gravity, there's, you know, God put a lot of these things in place for a reason, you know, and a lot of it has been, you know, right in front of us, but hidden in plain sight, because a lot of us, we're not using our discernment and we're not using our intellect because we're, you know, on a lower vibration. We really are really kind of dumbed. Now, I'm not in no way disrespecting nobody, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you do have people that, we're all intelligent people, but some people are pretty feeble, you know what I'm saying? And they're thinking, and that probably because of medicine, you know, some kind of a physical, you know what I'm saying? They off, you know what I'm saying? They off. Some people are really tapped in, like, you know, like those people that have, they call them, you know, they're like a special needs type, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, something like that. Like, not when I say special needs are, you know, those people, because some of them are very ingenious, and they can pick up on a lot of stuff, you know, just like you can pick up on somebody's energy when they come into the room, you know, and you have a discerning space, you just start praying for that person. Like, you can see somebody like, Pray for him. Pray for her. So this is what I mean. And things in the sky, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, because like I said, I always used to, as a child, as a kid, in all the way even up to, you know, I served time before, right? Bro, my mind was not there. I was gone. I would read. I did a lot of things. You know, I actually, you know, wrote a whole business plan and stuff like that before I left out of there, you know. And when I left, you know, I pretty much executed everything that was on that paper. You know what I'm saying? So I used to be in there and I would just like look out the window. There'd be all kind of noise and chaos and what's going on here, but you know, I was not there. I was, you know, gone. I was absolutely free in my mind. So I would look up at the skies and stuff too, like, you know, even one from a jail cell. You know what I'm saying? From a prison cell. You know, I was in there because I illegally was carrying a firearm. You know, I didn't do anything to nobody, but you know, I had to protect myself because I was involved in a lot of stuff. So, you know, I wasn't carrying legally, and then I had got caught. So that's why I had to go serve some time. They didn't play. It wasn't playing with them laws. Plus, I had too many clips and stuff on me and everything when they caught me. I was loaded down, ready for anything. I'm not glorifying it. I was like, James, what were you thinking? You know, but I used to look out the window, and I mean, this is from a time I was young, a kid. Freestyle about French toast. I'm not a rapper, not at all. Booker T, you know, man, Booker T. I don't know, this is my boy. So when I was young, like I said, junior high school, I mean, I used to look out my window all the time. And back then I could have swore I saw stuff. Even, you know, back then, we were little too. Like, is that Santa Claus? Is he coming to bring some gifts? Stupid stuff. Like, but I always was intrigued because, you know, astrology always, here's another thing, right? People always would say, like, you know what I'm saying, during the winter solstice or you know what I'm saying, during the September, during the fall, like, do you know the planets come into a line, like we run into like the Milky Way, the system where, you know, meteorites and things like that, or, you know, there's heavy meteorites that the Earth is rotating out there, it comes across them, right? And so every time around that time of the year, you know, meteors will come into the Earth's gravitational pull. And if you're looking up at the sky at night, you swear you're seeing shooting stars, but those are meteors that are falling to Earth. You know what I'm saying? So I learned all of this stuff because I was always somebody that was like into science, you know, and I mean, I studied astrology, you know, because I asked questions like, why? Like, I didn't understand this stuff, you know, and that's our duty to do. Like, if we don't have the news here to give us all this false media, you know what I'm saying? If we didn't have, you know, like, you know, these different broadcasting channels and stations in Hollywood and none of that to paint these pictures in our mind, we have to answer these questions ourselves. We have to have, you know what I'm saying, you know, take in what we see and process it. You know, why is, you know, I ask these questions, and these are the same questions that a lot of the great thinkers would ask themselves when they were, you know, like writing a lot of things, like why they studied the stars, you know, they studied the stars, you know, to be able to navigate, especially when they were, you know, men at sea, the fishermen and stuff. Good to ask probing questions. Exactly. But that's just me, having a critical mind, you know. But I haven't really been myself too much. You know, I still try to, the best they got me on, you know, it can become, you know, a little bit, you know, and I think a lot of us, they say they're putting stuff in the food. That's why we have to be very, very careful because, you know, I believe that they are really, like, even vaccines and stuff like that, you know, That's why I used to watch Coast to Coast AM in the middle of the night. Not watch it, listen to radio stations like that. You know what I'm saying? Coast to Coast AM. Anybody that knows, that's like one of those talk show radio hosts, or AM talk show, late night, that they do discuss some of the phenomenons and crazy stuff that's out there. That's as far as I know, that radio show still comes on. I just haven't been really on it, but you know. What's the matter? What? It's a watchdog. So this guy's answering. Let me let this play real quick, because he's asked the question: do you believe in that stuff?
And intelligent people in this country and in other countries of the world, whether they are something from outside the Earth, extraterrestrial visitors, there I'm not so sure. In fact, I doubt it.
And I say the same thing too. Now, this is where it gets sticky, because we have a lot of very intelligent scientists and stuff like that working for the United States government and defense and everything, because, you know, aerospace, aeronautics, or you know, all of that, and you know, just being able to when they're creating these, you know, we want to be the, you know, the strongest military on the planet. So, you know, when you got different countries that are developing, you know, faster, you know, airplanes or helicopters and stuff like that, and stealth technology, and you know, the sound barrier, they're trying to break the sound barrier, and things that need to be moving fast so you can avoid being shot out the sky, you know. Best believe some of the most ingenious people are, they're tasked with that responsibility to come up with, you know, high level security stuff, and that's where that software company Anthropic, you know, they were doing advanced technology and surveillance for the government. They created the type of advanced technology that the government wanted to use because they want to have the autonomous, they want to have an autonomous military. So now, aeronautics, Anthropic, you know, Anthropic is you know, that's a tech company. And I think I made a video about it last night. You know, you hear these people talk about, oh, I don't believe that there's this and that in the sky, or I don't believe in extraterrestrial this, and I don't believe. Okay, so let's ask ourselves, where do we get some of this technology? Where do we get some of this technology that we're cloning, or basically, you know, replicating, right? The spheric shaped, you know, the new fighter jets or stuff and whatever. Like, where are we getting the technology to make this stuff? Okay, this is not stuff. I mean, you know, AI, you know, automated, you know, and automated intelligence and everything. So everything is automated. Where are we getting this advanced technology? So if you go way back into time and you start looking at some of these, you know, ancient, you know, artifacts and ancient, you know, what they call them, the archives, or the, you know, not the archives, the forget what they call them. It's the writings on these walls. I forget what they call them. The ancient. Anyway, they depict people back then. And with those, you know, with the big heads, and with the, you know, with there's a flying thing over there and stuff. So you know, we've always had the question of how did they build this? How did they build that? How were they able to, you know, how was civilization back then? You want to go for a walk? I'm gonna take you for a walk in a few minutes, man. Okay? Let me finish this. We're gonna go outside, and it's a nice day out there too. Go see some of your friends, the other puppies. She wants to go for a walk. Let me finish letting this play.
Imagine
But I'm not gonna say I don't believe it. I totally believe it.
we ought to qualify our unidentified to unidentifiable. Now, do you believe in unidentifiable flying objects?
There are certainly
What is it?
a number of reports, perhaps 5% of the total. And by the way, the Air Force has recorded 11,000 reports in the United States alone in the last 10 or 20 years. There are some 5% of them which I admit I cannot identify, and other scientists have, if not found it, if not difficult, at least, if not impossible, at least very difficult.
Now, Dr. Page, what classifications would you say most of the explanations for unidentified flying objects come under?
Well, I suppose the most obvious to the public are frauds and misrepresentations. But this is a small fraction of the total. A good estimate is around 5% of pictures, for instance, which have been sent in. One published recently in the Hartford Courant turned out to be a fraud. The man who supplied it admitted under questioning that he'd falsified the picture. There are many objects seen in the sky, daytime and nighttime, sometimes bright lights at night, and sometimes peculiar-looking objects in the day, which very likely are airplanes, balloons, perhaps artificial satellites, and perhaps normal astronomical bodies like bright stars or...
Now, this was recorded in 1968. This is before I was born. I'm a 70s baby, okay? I was born in 70, around there somewhere. All right? In case you want to know. He said, how old are you? I was born in the 70s. You know? And I grew up with, you know, we didn't have, there wasn't no such thing. There was still board games, right? We're still playing with sticks, rocks. You might have some dice, because dice been around forever, right? If you get your hands on some dice, it was sticks, rocks, dice, occasional some spray paint. They still had spray paint back then. You get spray paint. Did they have roller skates? Yeah, roller skates. You know, that era, man. Look who we at now. Like, they have the thing I don't have it. You put the thing on in your virtual reality world and stuff. You're in a whole nother world, and you could play video games. You could travel to different places. You know what I'm saying? They got, you know, all kinds of stuff, man. Memes. Look. Came a long way, man. You're looking at somebody who's been through a lot of decades of change. You know, self-change too. Change within. I've changed over decades from the person I once was, right? But one thing that hasn't changed about me is that I've been pretty much sharp and, you know, motivated to you know, boldly go where no man's going before. You know that I grew up with that. We grew up with that. You know what I'm saying? Space was the final frontier. You know, I can quote the whole thing because I watched it every day. You know, and yeah, man. Even if you couldn't, you know, you couldn't get to space as a kid, right? But you was willing to let your mind expand and go there. So when we watched a lot of these TV shows growing up with Dr. Spock and, you know, I actually played in a play one time. What was that guy's name? He had the Irish accent on Star Wars. And he's the one that, will fly the thing. So just, okay, I'll rev up the engine and we'll, Hoot Gibson, I'll rev the engine and we'll warp speed ahead. I played that part. I played that dude in a play in school. Unbelievable. I played him in school. I wanted to play Spock, but I didn't get to play Spock. Another friend of mine had played Spock because he was a little taller than me, and he played Spock. Because we did the Star Trek animated video, a play in school. Foreign Press Center briefing with Backby, Lacoste, these people, B. Hopkins, archives. I want something a little bit more up to date where they're talking about it, Is this available? A lot of this stuff is just not available. 4 minutes, here we go. National Archives of, I think I saw this already. Yeah. Old stuff, look. This is what they depicted as the helicopter, the UFOs back in the days. And see, back then they interviewed a lot of people, man, different military personnel and stuff. But a lot of that stuff was held top secret when they would have these interviews. These people would come forward and say, hey, man, I saw something.
I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers. The Air Force interest in this problem has been due to our feeling of an obligation to identify and analyze to the best of our ability anything in the air that may have the possibility of threat or menace to the United States. In pursuit of this obligation, since 1947, we have received and analyzed between 1,000 and 2,000 reports that have come to us from all kinds of sources. Of this great mass of reports, we have been able adequately to explain the great bulk of them.
Now, hold up. Now, he said he's talking about some stuff from 1947. This was actually done in 1952, 47, 59, 51, 52. And in 5 years, then it had 3,000 reports in the last 5 years. Now, that only brings us to 1952. 1952. There's been a lot more reports since then, man. But they said it's an obligation that the Air Force had to identify and make some sense of this. Of course, because they didn't want, at the time, they didn't want to feel like what they think, can it be China? Is it Russia? Is it somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember a few years back in the Biden administration, there was some big balloons that were just floating across the whole country, and they never shoot it down until actually at some point somebody said shoot it down. Biden said shoot it down, but by the time they shot it down, it done already come halfway across the whole country. And then I don't know, it said that it was some surveillance or some spy technology or whatever from China that was sent over here. So first of all, when anything comes into your airspace, right, your military has to respond, and respond rather quickly. I don't think that Biden and them responded quick enough, so shame on them for that. They should have shot that thing down as soon as it came into the airspace. But like they say, man, he wasn't even really that type of president like that. If that was Donald Trump would be like, shoot that thing down, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's me personally. I think he would have said, shoot it down. He wouldn't be like, yeah, it's just coming right across the country. Man, so intelligence and gathering information and stuff like that, that's what militaries do. You know what I'm saying? That's what governments do. That's like anthropic. You know what I'm saying? They want they want to be able to have full control over the Anthropic's AI abilities because it can collect a lot of data, you know, and it can be used for a lot of different things. You know, now this war that they're doing over there in Iraq, or, you know, where they started launching them bombs and stuff like that, I went and I looked at some of the footage on that, right? They dropping these bombs, man, and they're using this okay, wait a minute, hold up, we got another one, man. Here we go.
It's just unveiled a new website that promises one-stop shopping for all non-classified government records on the intriguing subject. The site is run by the Pentagon's new All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, yes, or AARO.
That's the site I was just on.
Now you'll only find a handful of UFO videos. There will eventually be a section where the public can file their own reports.
Oh my.
So yeah, so that means that we'll be able to get back up there to get that information for you guys. So stay tuned for that. If you don't, you could go up there yourself, and get that, and you know, and get the disclosure that you may need. You know, WikiLeaks done dropped a bunch of videos. You know, WikiLeaks. You know, you can go to WikiLeaks and get you some information on what's going on. But this whole thing going on over right now over, you know, here's Anthropic right here, you know, and Anthropic AI. If in case you don't know, man, this thing is tech savvy, man. Just look at some of this stuff, bro. They're looking at the whole entire globe, bro. Look at this, man. AI. This is where we are today. You know, machine learning, you know, what it does, what can it do? You know, these different probes and stuff. You know, IMF report article, artificial intelligence to impact 40% of jobs, the job potential. When you start doing the research on this thing, man, it gets a little scary. And with the Anthropic, of course, I mean, you could tie all this stuff into what's happening right now with the government, man. Like, what they doing, bro? What is they doing right now? All they're trying to do is he that has the most data and whoever has the most information, they definitely are the most powerful. You know, woke up this morning to see that the markets, of course, ever since all of this stuff with the president saying, you know, that they were going to strike, you know, and then they were releasing, they released them things about 5 or so many days ago, about a week ago. He said release all that, but they said they were going to strike. They said they were going to strike today, and it looked like they've struck. They've dropped bombs, and you know, I don't know. I don't know. Inside a super wow. See here. Data centers underground. You know, I'll just say this to everybody, man. Get yourself a Bible and go read it. Get yourself a Bible and go read it, and you will see for yourself the times that we are living in. Because it's crazy. crazy. And then there's a lot of lost books. There are books. There's a lot of lost stuff, man. Lost things that are out here. You know, that they haven't told. There's so much stuff that they haven't told us, man. Wouldn't that be something? So like I have a nephew that's in the military, and I think I hit him up yesterday. I hit him up yesterday just to tell him I love him. You know, we at war right now, WAR, you know. Oops, sorry, I don't want to say that word. I don't want to get banned, but, you know, my nephew he had joined in the Navy, like his dad, and I think his dad before him. And we just, you know, we admire him and we wish the best and everything for him. Pray that he's protected. You know, of course, you know, he's going to be protected, and you know, his protection is around him and all his, you know, his fellow men in arms and men and women, you know, soldiers. We keep them all in our prayers, man. So then there's the other thing that also comes out that over there where they're Iran, I'm sorry, over in Iran. You know, goods and things coming through there, you know, trade wars, man. And it's not just about that. It's not just about the trade. Of course, trade is big over there. You know, they got that oil and everything. It's, you know, it's just a bunch of stuff. And, you know, that's one place right there where I'm sure where there's a lot of people are depending on the goods coming in and out through, I forget what that place is called. It's a strait of something, and that's like a way. It's a way where the cargo ships that are, you know, in and out of there, because they got to leave out of there to go to certain. You got, you know, if you look at it like that, and you say, well, you know, I understand that we have been pushing and fighting and trying to gain control over certain geographical, you know, geographic, you know, nations and stuff for, you know, for their resources and stuff. But a lot of this stuff, you know, how do you think it gets where it's going, bro? I mean, you can't fly everything in. You know what I'm saying? They're using them cargo ships to get into a lot of these places, man. And truth be told, you know, once they ain't no passageway for you to get in or out of there because there's war in that zone, then that's gonna create, you know what I'm saying, a spike in price. You know, the demand is gonna go up, and it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be less supply. So supply chains are gonna be affected, and you know that's what, you know. Ultimately, man, you know, this is go back way before, you know, dawn of time, you know, trading and stuff, you know, goods and incense and oils and, you know, all of that. So we can't let the television lie to us too much. I would say turn a lot of that off and don't watch a lot of these shows. You know, pick up a book, read it, the Bible, stuff like that. You'll read that and you'll be like, you know, exactly what happened back then is happening right now. It's just on another level, high tech, more technological level. But it's probably in there where there was tech back then, but they hid it. They probably got it hidden in there. You got to really be able to see it, man. Read in between the lines to be like, oh, that sounds like that's, you know, given some kind of a description or you know, who knows? Let's just hope that at the end of it all, we have some peace, you know, global peace, world peace, you know. Parker football game. What's going on, Parker? How you doing? Thanks for joining me today. Hit that like button, man. You subscribe to the channel too because I remember you. If you haven't subscribed, please do go ahead and subscribe, man. Anyway, how's your day going? It's Saturday. If you're feeling the crunch right now, I don't know if you're this channel, I talk about a lot of stuff that's going on. World events, supply chain, different markets being affected, you good? Good. I like to hear that. I want everybody to come up here and be able to give me some kind of good vibe, like, yeah, everything is going okay. And despite what's going on in the world, that you still able to maintain and you're doing all right, man. Because some people can't find no rest, no peace because they worried to death. There's a lot of fear out here, man. We're going to war over here. We this and that. What the heck? Marker, I don't know what that means. 1738? What the? It's a lot going on. People don't want to hear that, hey, man, I just was saying I have a nephew who's in the Navy, man, and, my prayers and stuff are going out to him and everybody, like him, men and women of the military, man. Prayers out to him, man. Yeah, and he's young. He's very young. Man, he's probably, most of the time people that join, I think he joined when he got in there about maybe 20, 21 or something, most, pretty much, when people usually kind of enlist is in their early 20s and stuff. So I hope the best for him. I wish the best. I pray, pray for him. And now we can, have some world peace out here, man, because, this government is causing a lot of, global tension, And these young men and women, look at them. These are young soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Their families, We got to honor them, man. A lot of them, they ain't signing up to go to war. You know what you're going to get, you might get yourself into, though, when you enlist, But we still got to support our troops, because we want them all to come home safe. You know what I'm saying? And even if you're in another country, and your people is out there on the front line, they didn't sign up for that. A lot of them probably, they're probably out there, oh man, we're gonna have a war and we're fighting with America. A lot of them, they probably wanna be Americans. They probably wanna leave their country and come to America. You got a lot of Americans that wanna leave America and go to other countries. And you're scared to go over there because you're like, man, if I go over there and the United States want to start bombing this daggone country I'm moving to, because I ain't got nothing against these people. You know what I mean? It always seems to be like trade agreements. Like, I don't have nothing to do. I'm gonna wind up paying for fuel, paying for food, or paying for shelter wherever I move to, right? And that money's gonna go to that government or to the, to some, some portion of that money will wind up going into the government. And then of course they're gonna use that money, unless their militaries are privately funded. They're gonna use the people's money to build their military, And I don't know what that's all about. That was something about the government. I hope he survives. I do too. I pray. God is good, man. He's gonna bring them home safe. We're gonna bring all of them home. We're gonna bring them all home safe because, bring them all home with as minimal amount of casualties as possible. We don't want to see none. We want everybody to come home safe. And everybody that's even from other, like I said, other countries, man, everybody, it's, we got these marching orders. And they get when these guys get their marching orders, they gotta go do what they gotta do. A lot of times it's behind. Now, sadly, we might be entering into a, you know what I'm saying, a whole big conflict because, you know, this administration might feel like they got played, or might feel like, you know, man, the people that make these decisions really gotta be, you know, stand up people, not no, on some coward stuff, man, on some old, you know, self-centered egotistics, you know, bully tactics and stuff like that. Like the world is not looking for any bullies, you know what I'm saying, to lead. We don't need bullies as leaders. We need great thinkers, you know, passionate people, people that are led by, you know, divine intuition. You know what I'm saying? Not by greed, not by ego. You know, you sending people to you know, to go into battle, and they will, you know, probably not return home to their families because of a pride thing that somebody might have. He's gonna do 4 years. He's gonna do his minimum at least got 4. He's been in there for a few years now. You know what I'm saying? He's been in there now, I would say going on a year or so. Yeah. So he's in the Navy, just like his father was. He come from a Navy family, you know. My nieces and nephews, my sister and them, they were military family. My sister and her husband, Orlando Sr. Orlando was he was one of them cooks, man. He was a cook. He was a chef. He was a master chef. And they used to have them cook-offs. You know what I'm saying? When they go to different countries, you know, that was during peacetime. He was in wartime too, because Orlando did he retired from the military. He did like 20-something years in there, you know? So when it was peacetime and all the ships used to go and they'd get all together or whatever, like he would do the cook-offs for some of the top high-ranking fish, all of the top high-ranking, you know. They you know, they had a whole lot going on. He left. I remember when Orlando Senior went in. I was young. I was in junior high school. He graduated high school. He was dating my sister. Actually, they were married by the time he left to go to service. Right out of high school. He was in the military for like 30-something years, 20-something years after that. Yes, so that would be my nephew's grandfather. My nephew's in there now, his grandfather. Because his parents, his mom and dad, were Navy kids. Yep, Jason and Cherie were Navy kids. My niece and nephew, and that's my great nephew. That's my great nephew who's joined, like his grandfather. His mom and dad were not military. They were military kids. So they grew up on the base. Or they've been all over the country, all over the world. They lived overseas and everything. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so it looks like I'm over an hour here. So I don't wanna have this too long. I appreciate you guys for watching and joining. Do me a favor, man. Share this video, man. Let the people know, man. You know what I'm saying? Where you can go to get that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let the people know that you can go, if anyone is interested in any of these files. That website is National Archive Catalog. You can go to the National Archive Catalog and retrieve some of these videos that they're releasing, a lot of the videos and stuff. A lot of it's not available. I'll show you this right now. I'm on the site. All right, National Archives. Sound recording related to Roswell reports, 1991 to 1996. And as you can see, partially available online. So a lot of this stuff, the President Donald Trump has told them that they have to release these files. It's coming. So stay tuned. You have a great weekend too, Parker. I appreciate your football gang. It's your boy Swizzy. I'm out. Peace. Check back with me. I'll probably get some more of this stuff and I'll pull it up and share that with you guys. Or you can go look it up for yourself. All right? Knowledge is power. Y'all have a great weekend.